Oh man, check out that picture of my big-headed kids and big-headed wife. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Adventures of Anton Rayne. We got some news here. Ado embraces a new paradigm. Private military corporations will be legitimatized. I gave you some free syllables. Feel free to take them home and impress people with them. Alright, so Ado has supported that. I don't think the CSP likes it. I don't know how that affects us. But okay, that's interesting. We have more important concerns, like the problems here in Bergia. Before that, let's see what's going on in Narble. Gassim's Narble branch set for expansion. Look at it! Remember when Gassim was like, oh, we're in trouble, you gotta save us. We did nothing, and it worked out. The free market took care of itself. In contrast to downsizing news from other locations, Gassim's Narble branch has revealed plans for expansion. This development, viewed as a promising sign of the company's resilience, is expected to stimulate Narble's local economy and create new job opportunities. The decision marks a key turning point for the energy giant in its recovery journey. That's awesome. Can we see that here? I don't see Narble in there. Something else I might as well show you. We have a massive amount of corruption in the country, you know. But we also have a problem with organized crime. And of course the dispute with the governor of Bergia, which we're about to look at. Protests against Governor Braun's security policies. We looked at that a little bit. The people in Bergia are starting to get sick of Braun for unfairly targeting the Blues. And so they're starting to protest against him. Regional growth stagnates in dire. Bergia is witnessing a period of economic stagnation, with the regional growth rates flatlining. Industries and businesses across various sectors are reporting sluggish performance. Well, we are in a recession, affecting the city's economic vitality. This downturn has sparked concerns about the region's economic resilience and the need for innovative growth strategies. And finally, out of Bergia, death of a former Black Battalion Brigadier General. In Estord, a former Brigadier General of the Black Battalion has been found dead. Dun dun dun. The cause of death is currently under investigation. The Brigadier General, who once held a significant position in the military establishment in the 1930s, had many followers from the NFP. That's the ultra-right-wing party. And his sudden death has caused a stir in the city. What do we got here in Grooney? Stagnation marks Grooney's regional growth. Grooney, this is where we invested. I don't know if it's going to be the whole nation gets it, but certainly the Grooney investment plan came from here about modernizing the farms that we helped buy farm equipment. I don't know when that's going to change things, if ever. Grooney, known for its fertile lands and world-renowned vineyards, is currently experiencing a stagnation in regional growth. This economic flatlining has raised concerns, the same thing as the other one. Yeah, the economy still isn't great. It's still poo-poo. Alright, let's read about education reforms. The Ministry of Education is reporting that the massive overhaul to the education system is progressing slower than expected. Come on, Sierra! Only a few schools in Sordland will collaborate in the reduction of hours taught in citizenship, solism, and nationalism subjects. Significant efforts are being made to lessen the political indoctrination in education, but are being met with resistance. Other changes, which were supposed to happen in the curriculum, pedagogical improvements like improved teacher-student relations, and the emphasis on critical thinking development, weren't able to start due to a lack of workforce and funding. Minister Walda reports little progress with most schools, delaying the transformation on political grounds. I feel sympathy for her, which I never thought I would. Alright, let's discuss the formation of a new police force. Something I think we're funding. I think this is the anti-corruption cops. Carl Greaser, who you may remember from the early episodes, when there is the assassination around the inauguration, arrived for a meeting to discuss the new police force. After Livia informed us of his arrival, Lucien opened the door and let him in. Hello, Mr. President. Mr. Glade, what a sunny day, isn't it? The weather outside was beautiful indeed. Clear sky and sunshine made the scenery look lively. I could even hear the sounds of birds chirping from the palace garden. Good to see you, Carl. How have you been?
Oh, it's good. It's going okay. You have tackled many security issues, but there's still some to go through. But more importantly, the security situation in the country is much more stable, allowing people to return to normal life. Please have a seat. We don't want you to feel uncomfortable.
He didn't sit down and walked a few steps towards the wall where President Alfonso's portrait was hanging.
I have been too used to being uncomfortable my whole life. I too came from a poor family, Mr. President.
You know, people like us, Carl, we know the additional steps that need to be climbed to get anywhere in life.
I used to work 15 hours a day to bring food back to my sisters. My entire life has been a struggle until I signed up to be a volunteer in the Avery police force. They gave me a scholarship to attend the police academy, an opportunity I wouldn't have been able to have if I didn't work diligently. That allowed me to enter the Avery police force as a patrolman and meet Ms. Graff, who opened several doors that led me to better places.
Who's Ms. Graff again? Oh, Lilius. Oh, are you close with Mrs. Graff?
She played a major role in my life and still is my superior, but to be honest, my motivations lie with serving the country, and right now that means serving you, sir.
He took a seat and corrected his posture.
We've been informed of the establishment of the anti-corruption police force under the Ministry of Justice. Indeed so, Minister Morgan has given me full authority to lead the new force in order to fight corruption within.
It's good to have you in charge of that, Carl. It will be a powerful force, one that didn't exist in Sordland before. I'm not going to try and get his loyalty, right? Carl's looked out for us. I'm not questioning his loyalties.
The structure being separated from the interior helps maintain perspective and independence from previous hierarchies. I want to make it absolutely clear my belief in you as a leader is unquestionable. Minister Morgna, though not as inspiring as you are, has also shown great capability. The more I work with her, the more I'm convinced that she is a very motivated and efficient administrator.
Yeah, she takes her work personally. Her motivations to fight corruption are very real.
Thanks to the resource diversion to her ministry, those objectives can now be met. Justice will indeed be served.
Carl leaned closer and lowered his voice ever so slightly.
There are elements within our state that have ulterior motives.
You don't say, Carl. You should go to any meeting in this government. Elaborate, please, though.
May I speak frankly, sir?
Sure. Of course.
There are some very powerful deep state forces inside the administration. Our investigations have just begun, but certain links we have discovered are troubling.
I believe it. Do any of them have to do with Gus?
Mr. Hawker,
Orso Hawker, the head of the Supreme Court,
has financial ties and other ties to certain figures. He is a dangerous man. Currently, we're collecting evidence to find out exactly what his network comprises.
You might make a powerful enemy there.
We have always suspected the existence of such a deep state. The real question here is, who in the government and cabinet is on the side of Mr. Hawker?
Keep pursuing this. If you encounter any obstacles, my full authority will protect you unless I get destroyed.
Thank you, sir. I will be relentless. The adversaries of this country will be found. The most important subject here is the old guard establishment. They pose a direct threat to us. Once enough evidence is gathered, we should be able to begin the corruption trials if we want to.
Orso Hawker's the head of the Supreme Court. Right now, he is immune from prosecution. And I think the new Constitution would still have him immune from prosecution, too. Or at least from being impeached. I think from prosecution, though.
Hawker, Heron, and the rest of the guard in the Supreme Court won't be able to be prosecuted at all.
That is true. That is the current law and will probably be the future law.
This means we can't cut the head off of the snake, but we will be able to strangle everyone around them. Besides them, there are other elements that we're aware of. The oligarchs seem to have some people in the inside as well. We have reached some unconfirmed reports about Mr. Tusk having bought people in the administration.
I am so glad we didn't take any of those bribes, because they would have found out about us. I'm worried about Pete now, though. Or Pete is an unwitting idiot in Manger. It would make a lot of sense if they bought Manger off.
They seem to be evading taxes through bribery and exploiting the gray areas in our laws. Our investigators in Estord and Narble have also found some suspicious financial activity from some of their corporations. If their tax returns were made to be public, well, it would help us track irregularities in the filings.
Bribery should definitely be eradicated from the system.
We will do our best, sir. It plagues us from all ends, but the oligarchs seem to have immense influence and money. They keep utilizing it.
Marcel Caranti, he heads like the TV networks,
and the HOS have a strong presence in the media and many other industries. There are some patterns we observe that are, well, unusual. It really seems that they have a powerful influence in the majority of the so-called independent news organizations. They might not be so independent after all.
You know, Marcel offered me a deal once. Go ahead. If you gotta investigate him, do it.
We certainly can. I wish we had proof of the incident. It would really help in the case against him.
Carl sighed.
Last but not least is the opposition leader, Franz Richter. We have received intelligence that he has connections to Arcasia.
I know, and I don't have a problem with that, but if it needs to be investigated, so be it.
Upon further inquiries, we can't see anything illegal here besides a mismatch of information.
That's good news. That's really good news if Friends is on the up and up.
The old guard must have pushed this forward. We shouldn't even consider moving on the reformist leader in our position.
It was the old guard that told us that Franz Richter had supposedly done bad things in secret meetings. I'm glad we didn't buy into that. Well, if there's nothing illegal, so why even talk about this?
I wanted to disclose all the information about the ACP has.
That's the anti-corruption police. Good job, Carl. You were right. You were right to tell me.
There are so many potential corruption cases here. Therefore, we need to pick a faction to focus on. We can't investigate everyone within the remainder of this term and come up with a thorough and compelling case. Oh, the most logical step would be to use the ACP to pressure either the oligarchs or the old guard.
As much as the old guard is a threat, I wonder if the oligarchs wouldn't be better to go after because of their bribery and tax evasion. Oh, drain the swamp. I got a perk. Or, not a perk. The accomplishment thingy.
Where should we concentrate our anti-corruption efforts?
I'm not going to focus it on the opposition. It should either be Hawker and the old guard, or Tusk and the oligarchs. That's a tough one. I think go after the oligarchs. As much as I want to go after the old guard, the oligarchs might bring us in more tax money. It would probably be more popular with the people. And no matter what, Hawker we're not going to be able to get rid of. So focus on Tusk and the oligarchs. Finally, Tusk. Finally, I'll get my revenge on you for being annoying.
Yes, sir. We will focus our research and investigation on the oligarchs. Well, it's been decided. That should conclude the meeting.
Good day, and good luck to you, Mr. Greaser.
Good day, sir.
Carl and Lucian left the room. Well, we're about to make some powerful enemies. What's the news got? Anti-corruption police force formed! Alright, so we already know that. They're doing their thing. What else is there? There's something from Waylon. Oh, and there's something from Magnolia. So the diplomatic missions are done. I'm guessing next time we're going to sit down with them and try and create better trade deals and maybe even alliances. I got a lot of hope for the one with Magnolia. I don't think the one with Waylon is going to go well. But that's things for another day. I hope I made the right choice about who have the anti-corruption police go after. Man, I hope I didn't make a mistake not going after the old guard. They're problematic too. So much corruption. I guess cleaning up any of it, though, would be beneficial. Next time, trade deals. See you then.